Hello students, in the previous class we have discussed the problem and we derived objective function equation and we identified the decision variables x1 and x2. In this class we are going to write the constant equation and solve this constant equation using a graph. That is why it is a graphical method, and don't forget that it is a linear programming problem. This is a common terminology you will find, because you will find x1 only, not x2, x to the power of 2, 3, all these equations you will not face. If it is x square, we would have called it as quadratic equations, but here the power of x1 is only 1, right? That is why we are calling it as a linear programming problems. Now we will write constraint equation, and just recall what are the 3 steps in mathematical modeling. Just recall, I am giving you 20 seconds. Just recall what are the 3 steps in order to write mathematical equations from the given problem. First thing is to identify the decision variables. We identified x1 and x2. Second step is to write the objective functions. We have written the objective function. This is a maximization category. As I told you before, there are 2 categories. What are these 2 categories? One is maximization, another is minimization. Problems that involves in profit, obviously it is a maximization category. Problems that involve cost, that comes under minimization. Okay, so we have written the objective function, that is step 2 in mathematical modeling. What is the step 3? What is the step 3 in mathematical modeling? Step 3 is to write the constraints equation. Constraint equations. Now look at the problem. Look at the problem. What are the constraints here? What do you think are the constraints here? Observe this. In the problem itself, I told you that machine P cannot work for more than 74 hours in a week. This is the constraint. Machine P has a limitation. It cannot work for more than 74 hours of time. That is why it is one constraint. Similarly, there is a constraint for machine Q as well, machine R as well. So when you are supposed to write constraint equations, the first step is to identify what are the constraints here, what are limitations here. Once you can find the limitations, that limitation belongs to one equation. Here we have 3 limitations, means you will get 3 constraint equations. Now you have to begin with the constraint value only. What is that constraint value regarding the machine P? This is, let's assume, machine P. It cannot work for more than 74 hours. That is why we are putting less than or equal to. Whatever total hours of time that machine P has to work should be less than or equal to 74 hours in a week. It cannot work for more than 74 hours. That is why 74 less than or equal to. Now it produces 2 products, A and B. If it produces 1 unit of product A, how many hours of time machine P has to work? This is simple question. Just look at the question and answer me. Just think about the answer. How many hours of time machine P has to work to produce 1 unit of product A? 10, right? Here 10 is nothing but to produce 1 unit. Now we are thinking of producing x1 units. Then what will become the time taken by the machine P to produce x1 units of product A? That becomes 10 into x1. But machine P also produces product B as well, right? If it produces 1 unit of product B, it becomes 7.5 hours of time. What if it produces x2 units of product B? How many hours of time machine P will take? That becomes 7.5 into x2. This equation, if you can write, rest of the equations also you can write. This is very critical. If you are able to write one equation properly, rest of the equations are similar to this equation only. So I will spend I will repeat it again because it is very important to write equations. When you try to write the mathematical equations or constraint equations, first you need to identify what is the constraint here, what is the limitation here. 74 is the limitation, these are the limitations. So, 3 limitations we have, 3 equations we get. For each machine we will get one constraint equation. So, 74 hours of time it has maximum limitation for it. So, for product A it is taking 10 into x1 hours of time, product B it is taking 7.5 into x2 hours of time. Total time taken by the machine P is 10x1 plus 7.5 into x2. This cannot exceed 74 hours. So, this writing this equation is very important. If you can write it, rest of the equations are similar in nature. Can you write the second equation for machine Q because it is the second constraint? Please try to write the second equation. So, for second equation 6 into x1 because 6 hours of time for 1 unit, x1 unit 6 plus x1, 9 hours for 1 unit of product B, 9x2. What is the constraint here for machine Q? How many hours of time it can work? 54, right? This is for machine Q. This is the constraint. For machine R, similar to above two equation, 5 hours of time for 1 unit of product A, 1 unit. For x1 unit, 5x1. For 1 unit of product B, 13. For x2, 13 x2. And what is the constraint here? 65 is the total hours of time machine R can work in a week. Sorry, this is R. Now we got 3 constraint equations for 3 machines. Okay. In mathematical model there are 3 steps: identification of decision variables, second step is writing the objective function, and third step is writing constraint equation. We successfully completed second step in operation research methodology. Okay, this is very critical. Once you are able to write the second step, that is mathematical modeling, and the third step is to find out the optimal solution. Okay, this optimal solution, as I told you before, can be solved in many ways. The same equations can be solved in different ways. Graphical method is one such method by which we will have to solve this equation and try to get the optimal conditions, and this optimal condition will give us the maximum profit. Okay. Now, and one more thing, there are some standard terminology here we have to just briefly discuss about them. And we know x1, x2 are the decision variables, and these 10, 7.5, 6, 9, 5, 13, these are called technological coefficients. Okay, technological coefficients. Here x1 and x2 are the variables, but these values are very much fixed. They do not change. That is why they are coefficients of variables, decision variables, but not they themselves are not variables. They are constants only, technological coefficients, because they are coefficient to the decision variables, right? You look at the equation, whatever the coefficients for the decision variables, you call them technological coefficient. Look at this, I and j. I nothing but row, j represents column. If I equal to 1, that is row 1. If j equal to 1, that is column, then A11 becomes what? You look at the equation and tell me. 10. A11 becomes 10. First row, first column. First row, second column. A12, 7.5. So, these are the technological coefficients. BI is resource value. These are the resource values or limitations or constraints. 74, 54, 65. These are the resource values. I is a row 1, row, I represents row, If I equal to 1, rho 1 74, B1 equal to 74. If rho equal to 2, I equal to 2, 54, B2 equal to 54. This is the resource value. Now we will go and solve the graphical method. And if you look at the objective function, there are also coefficients, right? In the constraint equations, the coefficients of decision variables, we are calling them as technological coefficients. But if you look at the objective function, the coefficients for these decision variables are called profit coefficients. Okay. So in the entire mathematical equation, only x1 and x2 are the variables, everything else is constants, and the coefficients for the decision variables in the constraint equations are technological coefficients, and the coefficients for the decision variables in the objective function are profit coefficients. These are the standard terminology, and we will go for graphical method to solve this equation. For graphical method, first you have to draw a graph. Okay. On this graph, you have to draw these three equations and try to find the optimal condition. Now, take a look at this equation. Take a look at this equation. If you try to draw this straight line onto the graph, what is the x-intercept? This is x-axis, this is y-axis, and x-axis I am taking x1 units, and y-axis I am taking x2 units. So the y-axis represent product B, x-axis represent product A. Okay. These are x1 units, these are x2 units. Now here, as there are only two decision variables, we are using graph, because in graph only two axes are there. Okay, that is why it is very easy to use graphical method if there are two decision variables. Now we will draw this straight line. First straight line regarding machine P. What is the x-intercept of this straight line? Constant equation. What is the? I am asking you a simple question. What is the x-intercept of this straight line? If you bring down here 7.4, let's assume here somewhere 7.4. You can take 1 unit, 2 unit, 3, 4, 5. Here 7.4. Here, if you take this right hand side value to here, it becomes x1 by 7.4. So 7.4 is the x-intercept. Okay. Similarly, you will get one intercept here as well. And if you look at the second equation, if you bring 54 here, 6 by 54, 9. So, and x2 intercept is 6. 9 is x1 intercept is 9, x2 intercept is 6. 9 is beyond this, somewhere here, and here 6 is below this. This is more than 10. Here somewhere here it is 6. Let's take. I am representing this equation 1, down and bottom, top and bottom. This is equation 2 for machine 2. Okay, this is the intercept with two equations straight lines. Okay. Now third equation. Third equation is, if you bring out here 65 divided by 5, 13. x1 intercept is 13. 13 means here it is around 9, means somewhere beyond 9. Here it is 6. x2 intercept is 6. For this equation, x2 intercept is 6. So somewhere here. This is third equation. These straight line equations, drawing them on the graph is your 10th class syllabus. I am not going too deep into it. You can simply write these equations in terms of x1 divided by a, x2 divided by b equal to or less than or equal to some c. This is x1 intercept, x2 intercept. Okay, so based on that you will draw all these graphs.